So, Rabbi, there's news on the West Bank, and you have some very firm opinions on how things should proceed if they proceed the way that Israel seems to want them to proceed.
Israel has been very slowly proceeding to annex the West Bank. They limited settlements. They allowed the Orthodox Jews and Jewish settlers to harass residents and people already living there with violent acts and not stopping them. They've allowed settlements in areas that the government didn't give permits to settle in, and then there was a wink and a nod and look the other way. So very slowly, Israel has been moving towards annexation. Well, they just took the next step to speed up annexation, and the Israeli parliament passed, let me see if I have the wording. Yes, they approved a proposal stating that the occupied West Bank is state property. Okay? Where it started, they tried that in 67, but immediately didn't proceed. That's the next step towards a formal annexation. And historically, that's a big mistake. And Israeli politicians and other individuals who claim Israel needs it for security, it's not true. It's just not true. This is expansionism. And the last time we saw it was after the Maccabean revolt, when we celebrated the holiday of Hanukkah, and the Hasmonean kingdom kept expanding and finally collapsed. Same territory, same pieces of land. It's not a good idea. The world opinion, the world view is against it. And I understand the need for security. But this is going to make things more difficult. Look at the District of Columbia. Joe, give me a quick description of the status of the District of Columbia.
A lot of people who think that they should be able to vote on their own taxes, allocations, and budgets.
And so by annexing the West Bank, they're going to create a district of Israel. And the people will want to vote. And one of the goals is not allowing the vote, because then Muslims, Arabs, non-Jews would be in a majority and could actually change the nature of the state of Israel. So they're setting up the seeds of Israel's own destruction.
But the DC ghost representatives in Congress do not make much of a difference in terms of overall governmental policy. And the West Bank isn't that significant a portion of the population in Israel, is it?
No, but it would represent, again, steps towards that. And so, things were about baby stepping. Israel's been baby stepping towards annexation, and then declaring state property is the final step before formal annexation. And the other problem they're creating is for those of us who are Jewish and American, Jewish and French, i.e., not Israelis. Israel wants us as Americans to give them unprecedented blank checks, but not give us any say in what they're doing. This is really for the state of Israel. Whatever you do does reflect on American Jewry. And we would like a say in what you're doing because it reflects on us. Well, Israel, if you want American Jewish support, then you're going to have to let us have a say, because there's a whole generation that's come up that won't support Israel, isn't supporting Israel. And a lot of the traditional support for Israel from American Jewry is fading away. I suggest you look at the polls. I suggest you read the newspapers. I suggest you listen to American Jewry, because you're asking us to support things now that are questionable. In the past, it was easy to support Israel because we agreed with your policy. But the majority does not agree with what you're doing in Gaza, turning Gaza into a resort. I saw the map that Trump promotes. It doesn't have any Palestinians in it. It has hotels and casinos and all kinds of things. Um, a great idea, but it doesn't involve citizens. It doesn't involve people.
And the problem with annexing the West Bank is that they already control it through military occupation. If they wanted to claim defenses needed to be erected on their borders with the other countries like Jordan, all they have to do is put the emplacements there.
Right.
And annexing the territory is not going to change that. They're still, unless they chase all the Palestinians out. What is the likelihood that that's part of their strategy to reduce the number of non-Israeli citizens in the West Bank?
I think that's in the background. I think that's in people's minds. And I want to bring this up as discussion. And I want to emphasize again that Israel has now overreached the assumption that American Jews will go along with whatever they say. And their argument is, well, you're not an Israeli, is my argument. You're absolutely right. However, you're creating a serious problem for those of us who believe in the state of Israel.
Well, maybe ICE will run out of things to do here and they'll send them all to the West Bank. I don't know, Rabbi. It is very concerning. I hope you help us all keep a watch on it. Thank you as always.
And for those watching and listening, pay attention. It's not always on the front page and it's not always in the front. And we don't want to be caught with Israel annexing and then all of a sudden going, what do we do? We now have to prepare as American Jews because Israel is going to annex the West Bank.